Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Conversations with Dee. I have my special guest, Nikki Kimbrough, and she is a fitness expert. And you may have seen her on a lot of different channels, Steve Harvey Show. So let's get into it. So how does your journey start? I mean, you have a lot of journeys. So I mean, you're a fitness guru. I mean, a personal trainer, and you also do something that I love a lot, which is sing. And
Yeah.
you were part of Broadway. So
Yeah.
so tell me about that. Which journey you want to start first? It doesn't matter.
You know what? Born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. One of my entire family still. First of all, hi Dee. Thank you for having me.
Hey, you are welcome. Thank you for being a guest, a special guest.
But no, born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. I've been singing since I was a little girl. I was known as the little girl with the big voice, like when I was, in church choir and all that good stuff. And then I was singing and dancing like as a child. When I was 7 years old, I auditioned for Annie in my hometown at the musical theater, the big musical theater at my hometown. I had auditioned for Annie, and I remember it so well. My mom had taken me to see the original Annie. And then that morning, I would read the entertainment section before I went to school. I'm like 7 years old. And I saw it was these auditions for Annie. And I was like, Mom, I gotta go. You gotta take me, gotta take me. And so my mom takes me, and I remember I wore my little tap shoes. I was the only Black girl at this audition. And I'm 7. My mom's like, okay. So it was like 200 and some kids, and I make it to the finals. It's like 70 kids, and then they narrowed down. They had 2 casts, so they narrowed down to 2 orphans, like 14 kids. And in my callback, my mom always says that I was short. So when I was singing, everyone was looking like, who's that? And she said she knew if they were fair, I would be an orphan. But she wasn't sure because technically back in the Depression era, when the show went on, there weren't any black girls in the orphanage, so she wasn't sure. But they were fair. I was an orphan. I ended up turning 8 during the show. I was like, and the reason I'm telling this story, because it comes back later, I was like, oh my gosh, when we were done, I said, Mom, I want to move where the Statue of Liberty lives, and I'm going to be on Broadway. And she was like, okay, baby. And I would never forget my opening night. She bought me this Annie doll. She bought me this Annie doll, and I just remembered her for like forever. So fast forward, I get to like 4th grade. They have citywide field day, and I end up winning my age group in Richmond, Virginia. Then the 5th grade, they end up having me do the standing broad jump, and end up winning in my age group in the standing broad jump. So I'm saying these stories because they all come up later. So, I go to middle school. I'm a cheerleader. I'm singing. I'm in the show choir. And then I end up running track, and I was really great. Like in the 6th grade, it was like, who's this girl? 7th grade, 8th grade county champ. I go to high school, show choir, singing, dancing, running track. I'm one of the top track runners in the state of Virginia. I ended up being one of the top track runners in the country. And I ended up going to University of Virginia on a full track and field scholarship.
That's awesome.
And it was great. I qualified for the Olympic trials and all that good stuff. Some injuries back. And then ended up going to graduate school at Syracuse University. I was training on the development circuit and ended up getting hurt. And it was a great ride, but a crazy ride. And when my undergraduate degree is in English, my master's degree is in public relations. And I'm telling you all this because it like comes full circle.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was in PR. And then what got me to New York? My master's degree is in PR with Syracuse University. Spike Lee came to speak to us. And he said that most of you choose to be communication majors, but you're really performers afraid of the instability. And I was like, oh, he is talking to me. I was like, oh my God, he is so talking to me. And I stopped. And 2 days later, I got a trade paper. It was backstage. And I jumped on a bus and came to New York. I hadn't moved yet. I was auditioning. And that's how I ended up getting to New York. I always say if I ever meet Spike Lee, I'm going to tell him it was because of him on how I got to New York. So that was the beginning of it. So, yep.
That's amazing. I actually met Spike Lee before he won his Oscar. In California, and I was like, yeah, I went to Clark Atlanta, and he was just like, do you know such and such? I said, I've heard of that professor before.
Right.
And he was just smiling. He was really nice. And then like when it was time to go, he dapped me up. He gave me a dap. I said, like, stay strong and all that. I was like, thank you. And he was really nice.
I think one of the biggest things that you never know when you're speaking to people who you're going to touch. And he touched me, and that was the beginning. I came to New York, got on a bus. It was right before September 11th. I started auditioning for Lion King, Rent, everything. And then finally, Mark Brandon, casting agent for Bender Casting, he was like, Nick, you need to move to New York. And I moved to New York, and I was in a Lion King workshop course, and I'm in my 20s. I'm in my 20s. I look like I'm 19, 18 years old. And I'm in my mid 20s. And he was like, yeah. And so I was in the Lion King workshop course, and then there was a hiring freeze, and I needed a job. And when I was in graduate school, I'd interned for the WNBA, and they had offered me a job, but I was like, I want to pursue this acting. And when I was in graduate school, I ended up getting certified to be a personal trainer. And so I ended up working for Bally Total Fitness as a trainer. And through 2 weeks into me working for Bally's, the global VP of PR came, and they were looking for a spokesperson. They were looking for the fourth spokesperson. They were looking for a Black female. And I was recommended, but see what it was, he was PR. I had just got my master's degree in PR. It was, for a hot second, I was a PR director for the Paul Robeson Performing Arts Company in Syracuse, New York. So it was like, I went in there, and then they hired me as a local spokesperson. 6 months later, I became the national spokesperson. I was the national spokesperson for about 6.5 years. It changed my life. I was flying back and forth. I was on the Wayne Brady show. I was on Ellen's show when she first started. I was on all the shows. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was amazing. And then Bally filed for bankruptcy, and I got laid off. And I was like, okay, so what am I going to do? And that's when Equinox was coming up, and everybody was going to 24-hour fitness. And I said, you know what? Because I worked on the corporate side and in the gym, I got to see all the things that were going on. And that's when I opened up Get Fit with Nick.
Yay!
So yeah, that's when I opened up Get Fit with Nick. It's more to the story, but I'm talking D. You come in.
Okay. No, that's okay. That's what this is about, to hear your story. So for the people who are watching, to tune in, and that's what it's about. So
yeah. So it was, I opened up Get Fit with Nick, and then I had my boot camp classes and had my clients, and then one of my best friends says, I think you need to go back to what you moved to New York to do. And by then I'm in my early 30s. I'm like 32. And I said, I'm too old. I said, I can't go on Broadway anymore. She said, I think you need to go. So I went to a Lion King audition. It had been years now. My first Lion King audition, I was 23, 24. I moved to New York when I was 26. And now I'm 32. I walk in. I'm the last person. Who is behind the table? Mark Brandon, the man that put me in the Lion King workshop course. He was like, oh my God, Nikki Kimbrough. I've seen you on the commercials. I thought you left the business. He said, what are you going to sing for me? And I sang a Tina Turner song. And he said, get out of here. This ain't your show. I got a show for you. I'm going to call you in 3 months. And he said, I'm going to call you in 3 months. And my mom said, what's the show? And I was like, I didn't ask. 3 months, he called me. It was Dreamgirls. I got it. I went on tour for almost 2 years with the Broadway National Tour of Dreamgirls. And that kicked off my whole doing a lot of workshops, working with Bill T. Jones. And then that kicked me off to, I got an agent. Then I ended up playing Etta James on Broadway in A Night with James. Yeah, that's dope. About, and in the midst of it, I'm still doing Get Fit with Nick and training my clients. But yeah, that was my story. And one thing I want to tell you, this Dee, is a story that sits dear to my heart. Remember I told you about that Annie doll?
Yes.
That my mom gave me when I was 7?
Yes.
My opening night when I was in Broadway, my mom gave me a gift. Every time I think about it, I get like this. That Annie doll had disappeared. I didn't know where she went. And opening night, my mom said, make sure you open this before, right, don't open it up right before you about to get ready to go on stage. And I'm in my dressing room and I open it up. Indeed, it is that doll that my mom gave me when I was 7 years old. And the note said, I always knew you would make it to Broadway.
Oh, that is so sweet.
So that's why I told y'all a little story about Annie and then all of it. And I think what has happened is my mom and I talk about it all the time. All of my loves merged together. My education, the singing, the dancing, the PR, my fitness journey, all of it merged together to where I am now. I am an entrepreneur today. I Get Fit with Nick is my fitness business. I also have a show called the Ladies First Chit Chat Crew. I do a show with Billy called The Amputee and His Girl. And, and I'm still singing and doing some things. And I also own a children's theater company in Harlem called Harlem Theater Group.
That's awesome.
I'm a busy girl. Now I'm just trying to have a baby. So that's next.
Well, we're going to claim that happens. You can name her Dee. No.
Hey, Dee.
I'm joking.
We'll get a cute little hat.
I know, right? What was that one? The one cartoon show? She always wore hats. Not Matilda. What's that girl's name? She was little too.
With the hat?
French. She was French. Wasn't she? No, she wasn't French. She was. Somebody gonna say it in the chat. I'm waiting for somebody to say it.
Who is it, y'all?
I forgot her name, but anyway. Madeline. That's her name. Madeline.
Okay.
Okay. She did.
She did have a hat. She had hat. Yep.
So I know that, so I came across a song that you did for Janis Joplin.
Uh-huh.
So how did that happen?
Janice? My agent, it was funny. My agent had called me and she was like, Nikki, they're having auditions for Janis Joplin. And I was also doing some choreography for the Miss Black USA pageant down in DC. And I remember I was supposed to get on a bus and to go to DC. And she was like, I need you to go to this audition. And I went to the first audition and sang a Tina Turner song. And then they had me come back and it was the process. And then I ended up booking the show with some amazing women who can sing down, who are phenomenal actors and just wonderful people. And it was one of the best experiences of my life. My director was it was a great experience. I had my own dressing room, and that doesn't really happen when you have your first show, But hey, Kat.
Thank you.
That doesn't really happen when you get your first big break. But I have my own dressing room and just with some amazing women, amazing vocalists, crazy talent. Mary Bridget Davies, who played Janice, she got nominated for a Tony, and it was just a wonderful experience. Yeah.
That's amazing. People dream about doing that. So that's amazing.
And it's crazy because I told you when I was 7 years old, I told my mom, or when I was 8, Mom, I'm gonna move to Broadway. And I said, I'm gonna move where the Statue of Liberty lives, and I'm gonna be on Broadway. And she was like, okay.
You spoke it into existence. That's what's up. That's big because not too many people can say that they said that they were going to do something and they're doing it. Some people, they were like, oh, I think I'm going to do it. And that's why you have to be purposeful with things that you say and be careful what you say. So speak positivity always into your life And like, even if somebody comes and say, oh, I don't see you, tunnel vision, because people will do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to always speak that into existence. I know I'm gonna do well. I'm gonna do this. And like affirmations and all of that, those really are important for little kids. Like when you start them off by saying, I am great, I am loved, I am blessed, and all of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if you believe it, then it's nothing that nobody else can do to, like, they can say what they want to say, but as long as you believe it and you know it in your heart, that's all that matters. So yeah.
And it's funny, Dee, I find that, when we were younger, I still think of myself as a risk taker. But when I was younger, I was a risk taker.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't let the chatter get to me, And then it's like sometimes as you get older and you experience failures and triumphs and trials and tribulations, sometimes I know I can speak for myself, you allow that chatter to get to you. And then sometimes it's your own conversation in your head that get to you. So I find myself now doing affirmations and manifestation more than ever now. I find myself now when I want to say something, really gearing how I'm going to say it, to keep all that positive energy out there. And I find myself working on being that risk taker that I was when I was a young girl, and because being an entrepreneur, holla at my entrepreneurs out there. It's
challenging. I've heard. Yeah.
It was different. When I first opened up Gifted with Nick, I still had a job too. So I still was having that paycheck. And even when I was on Broadway, I had Gifted with Nick, but I had that Broadway check coming in. Then it became just, so, and entrepreneurs know when it's here, it's here. When it's here, you're like, ooh, do I need to go back and get a corporate job? But you just got to keep the faith and really trust in. For me, I trust in God. I trust in my higher power, and I'm very clear on where it is, what I want to do, and where I want to go. Yeah,
and that's always important. Like, so during this whole COVID, like, how did you? I mean, how were you dealing? Were you affected by any of that? Being an entrepreneur?
The funny thing about it is, Dee, when we first went on lockdown, because first they said it was coming, and Billy and I, my boyfriend and I we didn't really think it was real until they shut down the NBA. Isn't that awful? When they shut down LeBron and them, we were like, oh
yeah,
like, oh, we about to get shut down. And when we first happened, we were sitting here like, okay, what's gonna happen? And then the first 2 weeks, I thought I was gonna throw my man out the window. He thought I was gonna throw me out the window too. But then I have to say, I don't necessarily like to say COVID, but this quarantine time saved my life. It nurtured my relationship to like it saved my life. My relationship is stronger than it's ever been. And I made more money in 2020 than I did in 2019.
That's amazing.
I got a chance to shift because the quarantine forced me to slow down. I was moving too fast. And I really think I was about to have a nervous breakdown. I was moving so fast. And it forced me to sit down. It forced me to take a beat. It forced my boyfriend and I to have real conversation. And we pride ourselves in communication, but we were like ships in the night because we both were really busy. Hey, baby, kiss you in the morning, talk to you during the day, and then see you at night, hang out, and then fall asleep, and then repeat, go again. And it forced us to really sit down. We got to have great conversations, honest conversations. Feelings got hurt, but in a good way. And I'm always a little embarrassed to say this. I've always loved my man. I've always thought he was amazing. I love him more now than I've ever had. I think he's sexier now than back then. My respect for him has always been huge, but it's like vast. So that, and then I had to shift my mindset. to switch my business on Zoom. And what happened was I ended up having people from Virginia training with me. My 72-year-old mom in Richmond's training with me.
Aww.
People, in other parts of New York, Atlanta, Ohio, like people are training with me all over. And yeah, it was great. The quarantine space has saved my life. I'm now. Then the flip side is I had a few clients that lost family members, so that was sad, And so I have friends that lost family members. I'm blessed that my family was fine, and I hope yours is fine as well.
Thank you.
But the quarantine space was the best thing that happened to me. I had to slow down. And God was like, "Ooh, girl, you about to fall. You about to trip. We'll need you to trip again." So, yeah.
And that's interesting because I hear that from a lot of people, and I myself can say that I actually it helped me, like in terms of faith, in terms of like figuring out things, in terms of like, you know what, I should do this. And like, because at first I was like, no, I don't want to do. I don't know if I should do podcasting. But someone I met back in, so the Airbnb owner, she had seen the pictures of at the Grammy after show, and she was like, you need to do a show. Like you need to do a show. I said, no, I don't know. And she was like, no, because it's just something about you. It's a shine about you. And I was like, my granny used to say that. And so I was like, okay. And so November came around and I was like, okay, yeah. And I always wanted to, celebrate people, like whether if you're famous, not famous, little, old, young, indie, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just celebrate people and that's what I did. I was like, oh, I love your music. And they were like taking pictures with me and we were hugging and waving. And everybody's like, why are they keep coming over by her? She's not doing anything. She's just singing their songs and just rapping their songs and just telling them thank you and thank you for their contribution. And so people were like,
you know why, D? Because Chantel said it. She said, yes, honey, you shine because you shine. Right, Chantel? You shine. You shine. When your grandma told you when you were little, you shine, D. You were like, I shine.
She did tell me things like that. God rest her soul. I mean, but she did. I mean, yeah. I really can honestly say, like, a lot of stuff she spoke into existence. Like she knew. So, and that makes a difference. You having somebody in your life that speaks life into you. Like these children now, yes, they need somebody that's gonna, do that, because you always want to speak life into people. Just like with Tina Knowles, how she had a confidence coach for her girls. And that's amazing. And like I told Mom, I was like, I had one too, my grandmother. And a lot of people in my life, a lot of my family members, it definitely took a village, to raise a child. And so I can honestly say, like, a lot of people poured into me, and thank God for that. And I'm very appreciative and thankful, and I always tell them, like, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So yeah, that definitely played a.
And you get to, and you take what they've poured into you, and you've been sharing it with everyone else.
I hope so.
You've been sharing it with everyone else, and that's your gift. You take that shine and you shine and you make everybody feel good, and you make sure you give some of that, you give that shine back to yourself as well. I think about my theater kids, my Harlem Monsters theater group kids, my Black and Brown kids, my juniors division between the ages of 7 and 11, and my teens are between the ages of 12 and 17, 18, middle school, high school. And one of the reasons I love working with them, because I enjoy pouring into them what was poured into us, what was poured into me. And some of them aren't gonna, there are a few of them that might be the next Denzel, Viola Davis. But a lot of them, I realize what we pour into them is going to support them in being that next doctor or that next teacher or that, so that's, it's important. It's important of what was given to us that we we give back to them as well, you know?
Yeah,
So,
that's what W. Du Bois said. Like, you pay it forward, and that's your goal. Like, that should be your goal. And he always talked about the talented 10th, and that's the 10% of the Black people or Browns or whatever that, they made it in whatever field they made it in. And so guess what? You're supposed to give back and help people. No matter if somebody didn't help you or not, you still help people. Because like I tell people, I say this all the time, a lot of times I didn't have people that, guess what, that did not say the greatest things and that were not inspiring. But guess what? I chose to not be that person. I chose to be somebody that I want somebody to be towards me, and that always, be good to people and be kind to people. Because guess what? At the end of the day, you could choose to be bitter. That's a choice. Or you could choose to be happy. That's a choice. And so I'd rather be happy instead of being bitter. That's just simple as that. So I just always said, you know what? I can choose to smile. I can choose to frown. I choose to smile. So
I'm so glad you said that, Dee. I needed to hear that just now, because I had a busy day today, and things didn't go quite the way I wanted them to. Hence, I'm like running in here like, I gotta give it to you. They didn't go quite like I wanted them to, but it wasn't that deep. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And for a hot minute, I was about to get upset about it. And then I made the choice like, but why? It's not that deep. It's not the end of the world. Maybe that wasn't supposed to happen. And I just chose, I'm choosing, and I chose to say, let's just keep it moving. Let's look how grateful it is. Tomorrow is my birthday. You are living a birthday. So I love that you just said that, because that was just a reminder of me. Sometimes things aren't going to go quite the way we want them to. And maybe it's not supposed to, but we get to choose to either be angry about it, upset about it, or we get to be like, let's just smile and keep it moving. You know?
Because there's a blessing in disguise. Like, it's sometimes like I had to get to that point. I wasn't always there. I remember one time I didn't get a job, and I was like, it's not fair. I worked hard. I got these degrees, and this is not right. And literally, like, I looked in the mirror and I was like, you know what? I gotta work on myself. It's like a 360. Changing that mindset. I was like, you know what? Just like I have a degree, a lot of people got them. And guess what? So what? You have a degree. That's not why people hire you. People hire you because of what you bring to the table in terms of like, do you have interpersonal skills that you've developed? And literally, when I start, changing my mindset, changing my life, change your mind, change your life. I think that's one of them. So mind you, people like start saying like, wow, okay. And I start, I was getting job offers, but it was just like, you get that plateau, like, man, and it messes with you. And I started questioning how great I was. I was like, oh, I'm not smart. And my mom, literally when I was in Michigan, she was just like, so that's how you feel. And like, she had seen me, I had went and put one of my awards in the trash. Yeah. From high school. I was up. Yes. Thank you. And I was just like, and she was like, you really did that? And so I thought about it, I said, oh my God, I took it out, of course, but like, when you go through things, I try to tell people, like, don't tell people how they should feel. Let them feel how they feel. And, just listen to them and let them vent. And, that helps people. Sometimes it's not about you telling somebody what they should do. 9 times out of 10, they know what they should do. They just need some encouragement and somebody to listen. So that's literally when I changed that, it just sat with me. I was like, you know what? It's a blessing with this. There's a reason why God didn't give that to you, because you were not even prepared probably. And then also he knew your personality. He said, you know what? No, I'm not getting, you don't want that. I got something better for you. And sometimes they get upset like, oh, why? But no, if you would have had it, you would have been miserable. So it's a blessing in disguise. It really is. Like, when you don't get certain opportunities, guess what? God's preparing you for something better. And also, if he would have given it to you, you would have stayed complacent, or maybe you wouldn't even seen the bigger picture or the silver lining. So I always try to find the silver lining in every little thing that happens with me. Like, I was like, oh, there's a silver lining. There's a reason why this is happening. And when I started doing that, like, I felt like weight lifted off of me. I felt like, you know what, just trust God and I'll be okay. And so that's what I started doing. And so COVID helped me a lot with that, a lot. And I picked up some skills. Like, I'm gonna be sewing like on point soon.
Yeah.
So, I'm claiming that, but like, yeah. So
yes, D. I'm like, yes, Bishop D. That was a word. That was good. Yes, girl. We gonna get through this week.
Yes. Amen. That's awesome. So with COVID, okay, how is that working? Because y'all just opened back up completely, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Just about. Yeah.
So how are the shows? Have they start working out what they're gonna do for Broadway? How that's gonna happen, like with Hamilton and all that?
They're coming back. Some of them are coming back in the fall. Rehearsal starts some of the shows. Rehearsal starts at the end of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the shows rehearsal start in the fall. I was just talking to one of my friends that's in the Michael Jackson musical. And yeah, it's coming back. Some people are coming back, rehearsing in, like I said, late summer, open up in the fall. Some start in the fall and are opening up at the top of 2022. So it's coming back. I'm very interested to see how it's going to be. I'm quite sure you will still have to wear a mask inside the theater. But things are getting back together here in New York. People are acting right. People, I still, where my mask go? I'm still not quite ready to let go of mine yet.
Yeah, I'm not letting go of mine.
I'm vaccinated, but I still have mine like around my chin, when, I'm finally back on the subway and the bus, but you got the mask on, and I prefer to still eat outside, but last night I ate inside. But the restaurants are doing a really good job. They have everything spaced out. You feel comfortable. And yeah, so yes, New York's doing all right. I'm proud of New York. We're doing all right.
Yeah, I was there a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, okay, things weren't completely open. And I was just like, how are they doing? Like, and then the subway, it just didn't feel the same. It was like, okay, yeah. And we opened back up in DC, but it's just interesting because people still are not wearing their mask. And like, I was out a couple of days ago, like last week, and someone didn't have a mask. I said, oh no. I got scared. I was on the phone with my mom. I was like, oh no. Going back home. I don't have time for this.
Yeah. But yeah, New York's doing pretty good. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm claiming it. And so, okay, with Lion King or whatnot, did you ever work with Teron Brooks?
No, I didn't. I know. Now, I never was in the show. I was in the Lion King workshop course, and then there was a hiring freeze, and then I had to go figure out some of the things. So I never was in. A lot of my friends were in the show. Like one of my co-hosts for my Ladies First Chit Chat crew was, I'm quite sure she knows. Her name is Chandra Prophet Ardrey. She played Sarabi on Broadway, and so I'm quite sure of that. So I don't know Teron, but I'm quite sure we had the same friends.
Because he sings too, and like y'all have like similar backgrounds. Like
I bet you if I went on Facebook right now, we probably got all the same friends.
So, in terms of acting and like singing and also, training, which one do you like the most, or do you like them equally the same?
It's not that I like one more than the other. Performing was my first love. that was definitely, you know, as a kid, as 5 years old, church choir, my aunts and them go, Nikki, sing a song, tap dance for 'em, like it's Taylor. That was my very first love. And then as, I started to get older, we realized, oh, she's an athlete too. And I loved running. I love, it's a part of who I am. I like working out. I like being athletic. And it's not that I like one better than the other. It's it's who I am, it's who I am. And just the performer was my first love. And then I end up becoming this track runner. And these knees, I end up getting osteoarthritis in my knees by the time I turned 40. When I was in college, and then when I was running on the circuit, I remember my physical therapist says, Nikki, you might end up with arthritis. I had tendonitis at the time. I was like, yeah, whatever, had my six pack. I was, And sure enough, when I was on Broadway, I started going, what is wrong with me? And the doctor told me arthritis. And I was told that I need a knee replacement, but they don't want me to get one until I get in my 50s. So I got some time. And so I started doing collagen and, just so I can feel stronger and better, and my supplements. And so that's what really has, helped me. I don't run marathons. I used to run marathons. I was a sprinter and a long jump in college. And then in my late 20s, I Diddy ran the city. So I was like, I'm going to run the city too. I started training for the marathon. I've done 3, and I've always wanted to do one more. So we'll see. I mean, my knees feel better, but I am like bone on bone, and probably eventually I'm like, let me just do one more. And then one day I'll just get a knee replacement later. So yeah, that's where I am. Yep.
Sure. So like right now with health or whatnot, what have you been incorporating into your lifestyle of eating in terms of ever since COVID happened? Like what have you incorporated more into your healthy lifestyle?
Well, when COVID happened, to be honest with you, I was sitting here. It was the first time I became a day drinker. I was having wine because I like red wine. And I found myself like 12 o'clock, like, is it too early for us to have our wine? And then wine. But then when I started teaching my classes again on Zoom, I teach a HIIT class on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings. When I started teaching my class again, and then I'm also an instructor for Daily Burn Live, which is a, you know what it is? It's a streaming service.
I was like, hold on. When I got the flyer, I was like, the photo, I was like, she looked familiar.
Yeah.
I'm
on Daily Burn. So when I started doing that, it got me back into working out. Because, I always say personal trainers are real people too. We have our moments. And but I got back into working out, and it was a reminder that I do enjoy working out. It makes me feel good. And then, I just really started drinking my water again. Really incorporating water into my system. The great thing about being home, I always tell my clients, you want to have 5 to 6 small meals a day. You have your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner, your snacks in between. I found myself really doing that. Billy and I started doing a food service that would come. So we would have, I started going back to the grocery store. I started cooking again and just preparing meals instead of, going out and doing this. So space, like, again, remember I told you it slowed me down. It supported me in putting structure back into all aspects of my life, including my eating. And I started to practice what I preach. Now I still have my red wine.
No judgment.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I do. So yeah.
Now, do you do a lot of meal prepping?
I do. I used to do a lot of meal prepping when I was out in the street all the time because I would take things with me. And now that I'm home, we still meal prep, but we're here, so it's easier to get. And now with me, and it's so funny you said that, Dee. Now with me, now going back out in the streets again, excuse me, I find myself, because I got used to eating structured, and believe it, that speeds up your metabolism. That especially when you start getting in those late 30s, early 40s, it speeds up your metabolism, so it keeps your weight down. You feel good, you feel healthier. My body can tell when 2 o'clock hits. If I'm caught out there in the streets and I didn't prep and I didn't bring anything with me, that's when the people start going for the Reese's peanut butter cups at the kiosk, or the popcorn, or this, or that's when you get home and you start grabbing the kids' fruit snacks or anything. And that's when you start, because your body has gone in starvation mode so long that, sugar crashing. And that's when everybody's like, dun, 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 dun. So with me being out in the streets, I do get back to prepping my meals and taking them with me, or at least making sure I have my apples and my nuts and my water with me. So, yep.
So in terms of like the different like the diets or whatnot, I see a lot of people doing keto. I see a lot of people doing, which is kind of like a new age Atkins, what they would say. And then also the paleo, then also the intermittent fasting. Do you recommend those things, or is it one of those things where what works for somebody else might not work for you?
So as Gifted with Nick, my motto is finding your fit, finding what makes you feel good, finding what makes you feel good physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I'm real big on find what works for you. Find what is easy for you to follow. They're all good. Some people do the intermittent fasting. The biggest thing is be consistent. You could do paleo for a week and then you're like, I'm not losing any weight. It doesn't work that way. It's being consistent. And what I like about all of them have an aspect of breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks between, even the intermittent fasting. You may stop eating at 10 and may not eat again until 11 o'clock, but you still got to get those meals in to keep that metabolism up. So I say, find what works for you, find what you can be consistent with. My biggest thing is make sure you are getting that water intake in, you're getting those vegetables, you are getting, some people are vegans, vegetarians, some people choose to eat meat, but my biggest thing is choose what works for you and that's easy and stick to and that's healthy and that makes you feel good. That's what I say.
And make sure you have some cheat days too.
And, I do think a cheat meal. I do think cheat meals are important. I think it keeps you human. Because I'm gonna tell you this: when we get really strict,
you plateau and you binge.
Exactly. What happens is, we're human, and if you do that and you deprive yourself, you're miserable. You don't feel good. You're grouchy. You're not nice to people. You don't feel like yourself. And once you go back to doing what you do, you will gain that weight back. Trust me. My biggest thing is be consistent. I tell people all the time, whatever you choose, you have in your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, your snacks in between, your water intake, your vegetables, your complex carbs, your protein, and then have your cheat meal, have your little snack, have your little red wine,
everything in moderation. I consider myself to be a pescatarian, a polio pescatarian. I like chicken and fish or whatnot, but sometimes I might want to flex. So I'm a flexitarian. So you might see me get some ground beef with some tacos, and I'm gonna be a flexitarian. But don't judge me though.
Right.
So that's what I tell people. Like, I'm gonna eat what I want to eat.
I love that. I love it.
Like I've tried vegan food before. It's not bad. I do my little meatless Monday, but the most I could do with that is a vegetarian. I could be a vegetarian because I like my eggs and cheese. I like my scrambled eggs, my omelets, my veggie omelets, and I like my cheese. I like my cheddar, and Can't do it. I've had vegan cheese. It's like
Right.
I'd rather go without it. Now I will recommend something called nacho
Uh-huh.
no cheese. It's good. It's made with almonds.
Yeah.
Now that's I put that on my quesadillas one time and it was good. I was like, yay. And I dipped that in dipped the tortilla chips in that and it's pretty good. So
that's pretty good.
I'll do that with cheese, but the shredded the fake, no, it ain't working for me. I'm sorry. But in terms of like habits, what are some good habits that I guess like during COVID that you developed? Because you talked about how you started cooking more because a lot of people they were just ordering food and I'm just like I don't trust it because we got an airborne something out there and I ordered a couple times, so not to knock nobody, but I was very cautious with it.
Yeah we were too. I would say most of my good habits, just increasing my water intake again, eating, being good to myself, putting me first. I have a tendency to put everybody else before me, and I put me first, and was unapologetic about it, and what it did, it supported me on really sitting down and being very clear on what it is I want and saying it out loud and moving forward with it. Another great habit, being a better communicator with my partner. I want to say that's the best habit. I just talking and being prepared to hear things that maybe you don't necessarily want to hear, because we can dish it, and then when it's time for them to tell you, you're like, oh, you're like, true, that hurt. But yeah, I would definitely. The biggest thing is the best habit, putting me first, and being good to me, being unapologetic about it, and being very clear on what it is I want and where I'm going and what I'm going to do, because that makes me a happier person. That makes me a better person to my mom. Lena, that makes me a better person to my theater kids, to my partner. And so that's the best habit that I created during quarantine. Yep.
That was my mom.
Hey, mom.
So no, it's so funny because so I ask everybody this during during the conversations. So in terms of singers, male or female, who are your favorite vocalists? They don't have to be in order. They can be in any order. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything.
I'm old school, D. I love Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Tina Turner.
Yes.
Tonight when Gladys and Patty were on Versus, Billy would tell you I was back.
Yes.
I was crying. So I remember being a kid, and that's who I listened to. I'm a huge Tina Turner fan. I would even go, Natalie Cole.
Yeah.
Down the summer, but Patty and Shaka, and they lived here, and I love Tina Turner. Yes, I love Tina Turner, and that's who I grew up listening to. And and as I got older, and even when I was a kid, I was a big my cousin introduced me to Phyllis Hyman. I'm like young.
Yes.
I'm like Phyllis Hyman, and he introduced me to what's her name? What's her name?
What's the song?
They did a Lifetime movie on it. Wait a minute, it's gonna bother me.
Tony.
We love Tony. But who we love? Whitney Houston.
Whitney.
Not Whitney, not Whitney. But why have I drawn a blank?
The Clark sisters.
Oh, we love we love the Clark sisters,
from
honey.
Michigan, so I gotta. Yeah, they from Michigan.
Mickey Howard.
Yes, I love Mickey. Yes,
I'm like singing, but so and Anita Baker, like I love vocalists, and then when the Jill Scotts started coming, and of course, I always say I love Mary J. Blige, but I don't love Mary because she can sing. We just love Mary. We love Mary, and and I love Lauryn Hill, and you got to give her props. You got to give Beyonce props. You have to give Beyonce her props.
Yeah, Queen Bee, her babe, the Beehive.
But I like I said, I grew up listening to Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, like Tina Turner. That's what I grew up listening to, and that's who.
Males? The male vocalists.
Oh, male vocalist. Who are my favorite male? Again, old school Marvin Gaye. Because I remember my mom. Prince. Like the artists. They were artists, of course. Michael Jackson. The artists. You gotta throw what's his name?
Luther.
Yes, you gotta throw Luther in there, and what's his name? Billy. Look, Billy on there. Billy's here. Shaka Patty. What's his name? Billy, what's the guy?
Billy Ocean.
Remember Billy Ocean? Caribbean.
Nice song.
You know who I used to love growing up? My mom and I used to always listen to Lionel Richie.
I was gonna say him. I love him. I love his music.
You are the sun, you are the rain. When Billy and I
actually gonna be on tour in Vegas with Bruno.
Oh, we love Bruno Mars. Yes. But nothing was like they could sing back then.
Freddie Jackson.
Yes, Freddie. Freddie came to see us in Janice. He came like 3 times. He was like, "These girls can sing."
Okay.
Back. But it's just I the old school singers just really it's just something. They could sing and you miss that. And it's funny, Dee, there was a time where I felt like people were missing. There was that's when I started going back to gospel music more. And more so, of course, they're singing, uplifting and resonating with your soul. But they could sing, Could sing.
Yolanda,
I could sing. And sometimes I just wanted to hear vocalists who could sing.
I agree.
Yeah. Yep.
Actors
was awesome. Yes.
Actors and actresses.
Actress, of course, Viola Davis. Of course, Viola I just think she's amazing. Of course, Denzel. All of them. The young ones coming up. David Washington is great.
That's that's whatchamacallit's son. He went to Morehouse when I was at Clark. He was getting ready to graduate, and he I think he tried to date one of my roommates. I ain't trying to get him in trouble though, but yeah.
Clark. One of my Dream Girls brothers went to Clark. Do you know Trevon Davis?
I'm from Flint. Yes, I know Trevon.
That is my. If I knew you knew Trevon.
He went to Clark, Atlanta, and he also he graduated the year the year I was supposed to graduate from high school. But yeah, and so he was actually in the Shy tribute singing in the Shy. Did you watch the episode? Yeah, that was him.
Yes. That's like he called
Sunday's Best and Making the Band. And
Trevon and I did Dream Girls together. He's my brother. Like just the other day he commented on my Instagram. Miss you, Nick. I call him Trevi. When Billy had his accident, he came to the hospital with us. Like he's family. He's family. us. Yeah, I mean, he was one of the people that held my hand when Billy had his accident. Billy didn't even remember because Billy was in a coma, and he was one of the people that was there holding my hand, being by my side. Yes, he's like my little brother. Yes,
yes, he is. He's talented. Like, oh my God, yes, yes.
Listen, so one of my friends that I went to college with, Lindsay Davis, she is on nightly news on ABC. And we're so happy for her. When she got married, she had reached out to me because she wanted me to sing the prayer. And she asked if I could sing it with Trevon because she knew I was good friends with him. But Trevi couldn't do it because he was he on tour with Book of Mormon? Something happened. No, he had another wedding, another commitment on that day, so he couldn't do it. So I got Billy to sing it with me. But yeah, like that's my brother. We are so close. I took a picture of us because I'm gonna send it to him. Yeah.
Yeah, so that the small world.
Small world.
I know, yes. Right?
Yes.
Oh, and you hear the firefighters, police officers, everybody. So no, I guess like out of all the shows that you've been in, which one did you like the most?
They all mean something different in different ways. You know, of course, Annie when I was a kid, and then all the shows I was in school. Nothing's like your first Broadway show. You know, nothing beats a childhood dream that you put out there and to watch it come to fruition, and it come to fruition later in life. I mean, I got back into the business in my 30s. You know, I didn't go on Broadway to my mid 30s. You know, now I'm in my mid 40s. You know what I'm saying? Which I cannot believe, but I am. I just had to say that.
Good though, you know.
Am I right, D?
Yeah, you know we don't crack. You know,
where's Mom? Mama Lena, I'm okay. I'm okay.
As
like,
long as
I'm saying the truth now.
No, that's funny. No, so what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying.
You asked me about Broadway and which shows.
Yeah, about the shows. And so with and Annie, when they had to do A Hard Knock Life and Tomorrow, which song did you like the most? A Hard Knock Life or
of course back then it's a Hard Knock Life because I was a part of the Hard Knock Life. Tomorrow, that was Annie's song. But now Tomorrow is very special to me. My theater kids are doing Annie right now. We're doing Annie. We just started working together collectively. But now Tomorrow means a lot to me because of the words, you know, because what it says and I'm so sorry. My phone just rang. I'm so sorry. Do you see me? I'm trying to stop it. Yeah, so sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. So now, like I said, Tomorrow means more to me now because of the words, and the sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. You know, those are some powerful words. And when you're young, you don't really think of it like that. You know, so yeah.
What production, if you had the opportunity, someone said, "Hey, I want you to be a part of this," what production would you want to be part of in Broadway?
Tina Turner. The Tina Turner musical. I mean, it's a dream. You know, I would love to. The woman who plays Tina Turner now, I love her dearly. Adrienne Warren, she's been nominated for a Tony. She's probably going to get it. She was phenomenal. I'm so proud of her. But I would love the opportunity to be able to audition to play Tina Turner. I'm going to put it out there. I would love to do that.
We're going to claim that. We're going to claim it. Yay. I always want to do Cats. Cats or Cats. So growing up in Flint, Michigan, like there wasn't a lot of opportunities like that. And I actually was supposed so before my granny passed away, I was like, I was like, Granny, I want to go to Detroit School of Arts. That's the school that Aaliyah went to. And so I wanted to, do that or whatnot. And so I was like, I want to tap dance and all of that. And my mom, she was trying to put me into like some modeling. And thank God my grandmother stopped that. She was like, that baby don't want to do no modeling. I was like, no, I do.
She wants to sing and she wants to dance and she wants
I did not want to do that. So no, it was just kind of interesting, but no. And then Grease, I always wanted to do Grease. Like, who doesn't like Grease? And then like someone was like, well, would you want to do, what part did you want to do? I was like, as long as I'm a pink lady. I mean, I guess for me, Rizzo or Sandy.
Of course. You'd be great as both. You'd be a great Rizzo. You'd be a great Sandy. When's your birthday, Dee?
April 24th.
April 24th. Yes, you'd be both. You'd be great.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And then I want to do the Wiz. Of course, that's everybody want. Come on now, who didn't want to do that one? And then Les Mis. People want to do that one. And then
I love Dee. Les Mis is one of my, at least two, one of my favorite musicals. My mom took me to see it when I was in middle school. I asked her if I could go see it because my chorus teacher told us about it. And I was like, Mom, we got to go see this musical. So it came to Richmond, Virginia. My mom took me. And I've seen it, all the time through my life on Broadway. Yes, Dee. I love that. You like me.
Nutcracker.
Yes.
I went to go see the Nutcracker when I was little. And what is it? The Sugar Plum Fairy or Yeah, that one, and it's another one too. Joseph in the American
Dream Code.
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of some other ones. The Swan. It was the Swan one.
Swan Lake, the ballet.
Swan Lake. That one would have been nice. And then I don't know. It's like so many of.
Have you seen Wicked? Wicked is really good.
Wicked is good. I hear about that one. And then they also got one with Carole King.
Carole
King.
Yes, Carole King musical. Yes,
yeah. Because I love her whole little album. So the Tapestry, that one.
Yes,
yeah. So far away, yeah.
Yes, Dee. Yes,
I like that kind of music, like old school music. And then when she did I Feel the Earth Move, it was so funny. That was one of my audition songs because auditioned for American Idol 3 times.
Yes, Dee.
We're not gonna talk about that though. And I did the X Factor too in Long Island back in 2000.
Awesome. Yay.
That was good. I made it the 2nd or 3rd round out of 5 or something. It was cool.
That's awesome. Yay. Yay. Yeah. This has been good. It's been good, Dee.
Thank you. And so what advice would you give anyone, wanting to become a fitness trainer, in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of going to pursue Broadway or acting or singing? What advice would you give them?
All 3, with anything, my advice would be follow your passion. And not just follow your passion. Mm-hmm. Perfect your craft. Hone your craft. If it's training, if it's anything, get education. I'm not necessarily, of course, going to school is amazing, but make sure you get your certifications. Make sure you read. Making sure you surround yourself with people that can continue to pour. Just be open to learn. Be open to learn. Be a sponge. Put the ego down. Just be open. And I'm really big right now to say, follow your passion. Mm-hmm. Very clear. Sometimes people say, I don't know what I want to do. Yes, we do. We always know what it is. Sometimes we're afraid to say it out loud. Sometimes we're caught up in the how. Well, I really want to do this, but how is this going to happen? How is that going to happen? And my good friend, Lachelle Wooten, always say, speak what you want. Mm-hmm. What you want, put it out there, put it out to the universe, put it out there to God, and hone your craft. Hone your craft, perfect your craft. Get know your stuff. Get educated. And God and the universe will take care of the how.
That's true. I agree. I agree.
They will take.
I agree.
So that's my advice on anything. You know, if it's my other thing is too, it's not too late. It's never too late. Sometimes we put these, I'm this age, I'm this, I'm that, because I do that. Yeah, it's never too late. Yeah. Yep. So that's what I say.
Well, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to put you in contact with one of my friends. Like, well, she's actually my vocal coach. She has a podcast and it's called Conversations, and you would be dope on that show. And you don't have to be a mom to be on there.
I'm not a mom yet.
You're in the industry, and I think you would be good on there. So yeah, I'm gonna mention.
Oh yay!
Probably watching though. She might be watching. So yeah.
You gotta check out my show on Saturday called the Ladies First Chit Chat Crew. And
what time does it start?
It's 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
If not this Saturday, the next one.
I was sending you the link, D.
Because I got a show.
Oh, you have your own. That's right. But you know what? You can always
watch it though. I'm gonna watch it.
Always catch it on the replay on the.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say yeah.
I'll send you the info. I'll send you the
info. I would definitely watch it and support it. So.
Yeah, the website.
Because I seen the post that you put up on Instagram. I said, okay.
Yeah, the Ladies First
Share it.
.com. Where we honor the voice of the everyday woman. So I want you to tap in there and it'll be good. And I'm gonna send you the info. Please. It's the I'm gonna do. It's the thank you so much, you guys. It's
a platform too, I think. Yeah, I believe she does. Yeah, I'm a good platform. It's a lot of people from Instagram that got some dope platforms and all of that.
But you know what, D? We gotta keep supporting each other.
Yeah,
you know,
we do.
We gotta keep supporting each other. I'm gonna support you. We're gonna support Chantel. We're gonna keep supporting because we need to do that.
That's how we win, by helping people. Yeah,
win. That's how we win. Yep.
Amen.
Yep. We gotta stick together.
We will. Yes, I agree. So I don't want to keep you too long because I've been good about that lately, not keeping people over their time. One of my interviews lasted 4 hours, but it was cool because we was talking about music. Right. So
you're right.
So yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm gonna follow you. Conversations with D. I'm gonna find out Chantel. Y'all can follow me at Get Fit with Nick. GET.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. So tell us where we can find you at. Get Fit with Nick on Instagram.
Yep. Get Fit with Nick on Instagram. GETFITWITHNIK. So I'm NIK. Get Fit with Nick on Instagram. I'm also on Instagram. I'm on Facebook too. Nikki Kimbrough. I have Get Fit with Nick as well, but I'm on Instagram a lot at Get Fit with Nick. I'm trying to get into the Twitter thing, D. You know what it is?
I haven't got into it.
I think it's
good luck with that. I still ain't got into it. I'm a Instagram. To me, I love Instagram because it's like you interact with tons of people. You just post a picture, and people are like, "Oh, I like that," and they love it.
Yeah, so it's Get Fit with Nick, the amputee and his girl. Billy and I have a show called The Amputee and His Girl.
Yeah.
The Ladies First
show, everybody. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Well, thank you, D. Thank you, y'all.
We'll have a good one. Oh, also, tomorrow, join me. I'm going to have high five.
D. I was the opening act. I was the warm up for high D. That is awesome.
Thank you.
What time is it?
It's gonna be at 3 p.m.
Okay.
So make sure you watch because it's going to be very interesting.
Yes.
Always have some type of surprise. You just never know on the shows. You just never know the surprise.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
I'm gonna look it up on your page. I'm gonna put it up on mine.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
High five. Wow. It just brought back memories. Ooh, just dating myself. Okay.
I know I was like maybe 5 or 6 when the song came out.
Ooh, yeah, I was not 5 or 6. I was a little older.
I know, yeah.
I wasn't old, but I wasn't 5 or 6.
I got you. Yeah. But I do remember the song. That was, yeah. They had like 10 or 12 different good songs. I mean, literally did I remember. And then they were like on 3 or 4 different movie soundtracks.
Yep. Well, I'm sending you such great energy, okay?
Thank you.
Have a good interview.
Thank you so much. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure y'all support Nikki's page. Make sure you go follow my page, everybody, if you're not following yet. And share if you like and all of that good stuff. But thank you. Enjoy your Friday. Have fun. And please wear your mask. Thank you. That's all I'm gonna say.
I want to show you my mask real quick. Hold on.
Okay. Oh, no.